project, we are using placemats of all things. The stuff that your grandma has sitting on her dining room table, we're turning them into a tote bag. To get started, you'll want to take 2 of your 4 placemats and place them onto a cutting mat. You'll need a ruler and a fabric cutter as well, and I'll show you what to do next. Working with 1 placemat at a time, I'm going to use my fabric ruler, which measures 6 inches across, to cut a strip right through the middle of my placemat. Once you're done chopping through your 2 placemats, you're gonna have pieces that look like this. We're gonna make one more cut to flatten one of the sides of the placemat, and I'll show you what that looks like. We wanna trim off this rounded edge so that it's flat, so I'll just lay down my ruler and cut through. Now we're gonna grab some bias tape. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not entirely sure what bias tape is actually used for, but for this project, we're going to use it to keep the edges of our raffia placemats from unraveling too much. The bias tape meets at the center like this, and we're going to fold it over the edge of the raw side of the raffia placemat. This will cover up any of those raw edges and avoid too much unraveling. I'll clip it in place with some Wonder Clips, and I'll see you back here when I'm all done. Now, we're taking it to the sewing machine. The next step is simple enough. We're gonna sew a straight stitch right along that bias seaming. Is that bias tape? Along that bias tape to secure it into place. I've stitched that bias tape into place, and now I'm gonna take my strips of placemat raffia and turn them so that the right sides are facing each other. Let me show you how to know which side is the right side of a placemat. The placemat comes to a swirl point that kind of is an upward point, and then on the back, it's a downward spiral. So the upward spiral is the side that's the right side. So we're going to flip these together and then place some bias tape along the seam where they both meet. I've got that seam covered with bias tape, and now back on to the sewing machine. With them sewn together, you've now created a long placemat strip with edges that are secured, so no nasty unraveling edges, and now we're going to start assembling the bag. We're gonna start with our strip of placemat and one of the full placemats. Place them so that their right sides are facing each other, and then we're gonna start using those Wonder Clips to clip the edges. Once you've clipped along the curve of your placemat, it's gonna look like this. And now we're gonna take it to the sewing machine and sew along the edge where the clips are. Now we've got about half of a tote bag done. To finish it, we're gonna take our other placemat. We're going to use it so the right side is facing in, and we're gonna pin the edges using Wonder Clips, just like we did before. I just finished sewing up that last placemat into place. Now it's time to flip the bag inside out. So now it's time to put on the straps. So let's put away this sewing machine and get to that next step. Now that I have 2 strips cut for the 2 straps in my bag, I'm gonna take a leather punch and I'm gonna punch 2 holes at the ends of the strips. Now that I have all the holes punched, we need to get the placement right on our bag. To do that, I'm going to lay these down, use a marker to mark the holes so I know where to punch. Now I'm gonna bring the strap to the inside of the bag where it will be attached and use rivets, which are these little metal guys. Now that we have our rivets in place, we're going to use the tools that come with the rivet set to stop. Hammer time. That was real corny. I just had to do it. We're gonna hammer them into place. All right, our placemat bag has an orange, a stem, but I feel like to drive home the point, we need to add some blossoms, some orange blossoms, right? Well, here we go. I cut these florals from leather and painted them, but if you want to use felt, you could totally do that too. After all that sewing, I am ready for some glue, so I'm going to use a glue gun that's filled with a fabric hot glue stick, which is a little more flexible than regular hot glue, and I'm going to glue these flowers into place. Looks like an orange blossom, right? Kate Spade would be proud.